what to say, really. This is a time-honoured, what's the word? Time-honoured something, you know, or, you know, for the best man, I'm his dad, by the way, you know, to have a speech. Thank you. That's a good start. I can tell you a little story, actually. I've been humming and hawing whether to tell you the truth or pack of lies. And I thought, no, sod it, I'll tell you the truth. Bloody long time ago, back in 1939, war broke out between the English and the Germans. And I was 8 years old at the time, and I got evacuated away from all the bombing. But luckily for me, or unfortunately as the case may be, I never went to school. You know, from the time I was 8 till around about 11 or 12, so I never really learned to read or write, you know, or, and you can probably tell from the language sometimes that, you know, the job spelling things either. But nevertheless, I grew up, after about 4 years I came back to London, and it was full of you guys. A lot older, obviously, than you are. You know, like your dads or your granddads. You know, all Americans. We called you Yanks, and I'd like to ask you one these days why you're called Yanks. Thank you. I don't know. Nobody seems to know the answer. Anyway, the point is that I disliked you. I more than disliked you, but I can't go any further than that because there were so many soldiers around, full of soldiers, you would not believe it. This was back in 1941. And I used to hear my mum and dad talking about you guys. You know, not you guys, like your granddads and that. You know, prices went up. You always had money. You always had money. And I did all right at that because I would ask them and go up to them and say, mate, you got a bit of chocolate or have you got a gum? And they'd always give it to you. But instead of saying thanks, you know, I thought, you know, wish I'd asked some more. You know, but that's not the point. Now I'm talking about when I was 8, 9, 10, something like that. Later on, I went in the army at 18. And this is when I had real trouble. Because I was lucky enough, did 2 years, and I was lucky enough to go to Hong Kong. And I had the best 2 years of my life. But when an American ship came in, every 3 months, hell broke loose. You guys, I wouldn't say you were looking for trouble, but you didn't back down, that's this point. And we wasn't going to go back down either. We were jealous of you. You have your smart uniforms, your money in your pocket, any girl you can pick, and the bleeding trouble was, a pint of beer would say $3. When you guys came into town, it was $10. Yeah? Go for a dinner, and it would be $4 or $5. You guys are in town, bleeding $10, $12. We couldn't afford it. So we kind of took it out of you. You'd have 4 or 5 of you walking around, saying, oi! Yeah, and a punch-up would start up. And some of them, it sounds as if you know what I'm talking about, you guys over the back there. Yeah. Anyway, so I really grew up to dislike the Yanks. But as time went by, as time went by, I learned a bit about you guys. Again, not you guys, but nevertheless, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your granddad, if you like. I'm 90, so some of your granddads must be around about that age anyway. And I found you had a bad bunch after all, you know. You weren't so glad, but, you know, when Matthew decided, he had a bloody good job in a bank, and he said to me one day, he said, Dad, I'm going to Australia. I said, what the bloody hell for? He says, well, I'm bored. So off he went to Australia. He came back after a year. He did all right, but he hadn't got a job. So he went and got another job, working in an insurance company. Again, he was doing well. He did about a year or two out there. What's he do? He says, Dad, I'm going to America. Oh, I thought, Jesus Christ, don't. Not America, you know. Go somewhere else. That's why I'm holding on to this in case you come for me afterwards. You know? Oh, thank you, thank you. Anyway, sorry? Oh, I'll come to that in a minute. So, she says, my wife, she says, don't forget when you was born. So, I'll never forget it anyway. But the long and short of it was that reading the papers, you guys, you basically saved us English or British. You know, you lost so many thousands of men. You know, and you volunteered. All of your granddads and that, you volunteered to come and help us. And that's, I've learned this subsequently, you see. So, and then I come over here over the years, you know, 2 or 3 times, see Matt. See, I'm getting your happy now, call him Matt. I mean, I never call him Matt, it's Matthew. I've always called him Matthew. And you're a bloody good bunch, there's no doubt about that. No, I don't. I don't want any applause for that. So he goes out to America, well, we're here now, and then later on he phones me, he says, I've got something to show you. So I said, yeah, what's that? He says, I'm going to become an American citizen. Oh, no way, I said, right out loud. I mean, you can take so much. And there's a bit in the Bible, you know, that it says, because when I was a evacuated, I was evacuated with a vicar, and that's how I learned to read and write a little bit. See? But anyway, it says, in the Bible, it says, God works in mysterious ways. and that little message, just for some reason, it's always stuck in my mind. Anyway, he goes out in America, comes here, that's it. And after a year or 2 or whatever, he says, Dad, I've got something to show you. So what now? He says, I'm going to become an American. I said, hell, you can't do that. You know, you're English, you don't become an American. He says, well, it'd be better for me. I said, okay, I can't do much about it anyway. So he gets married to one of you Yank. No, I shouldn't say Yank, because it's supposed to be a bad word, so one of you Americans. And that's fine with me, but I've got four bleeding American grandchildren, you know? Down the crows. And I'll tell you what, if you're up here, you know, you're taking a Muslim out of me, because this is the bit I'm going to say now, you know. You never guess what day he was born on. Have a guess. The 4th of July, you're right. What a joke. If I can get up here, I'm going to have a word with him, because you can take so much. Anyway, and also you can take so much of me, so I'm supposed to say, as the bridegroom, as the best man, thank you, that you praise the bridesmaids, don't you? Something like that. So, oh, you do. So I'm just going to say, what a lovely bunch of American girls you are, you bridesmaids. Oh, that's about it, I think. I've had a wonderful evening. I've had a wonderful day. I've had a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
My dad, everyone, is the best. He's absolutely the best.
Shut up, Tom.
Get lost.
Who's the next one?
I'm having that put on a t-shirt. Shut up.
I love it.